So, what you want, when you want it, how you want it. The definition of freedom. That's what we're talking about today and what it takes to get freedom. So, I'm Jennifer Seifert, shamanic soul guide, and this is Receptive Radio, your tuning station. And this is Merlin. He likes to show up every once in a while. He's my assistant. And this Receptive Radio is for conscious entrepreneurs, builders of the bridge to the new paradigms that are the better world, and entrepreneurs, people who are self-developing and growing stronger and stronger every day. This show is for you. So if we want to have more freedom, it takes a significant amount of power, and it's personal power, it's willpower, and something else I like to call soul power, which is the embodiment of your mind, body, heart, and energy, all working together in union to help you go for it. Go for your dreams, your purpose work. Stay focused. And I notice that people in general, including myself, we struggle with distractions. We struggle with not focusing on the outcomes or the results that we want to create. And we get triggered often. So often we're comparing ourselves to other people. We're worried about the world and what's going on in the world events instead of about putting ourselves first. So there's so many reasons that we get triggered. And so when we get triggered, frustrated, angry, upset, irritated, start complaining and blaming and going into this victim mode, that is a drain of our soul power. That is when the ego or the false personality takes over and starts running the show. So if you have felt like this before, if you feel like you've been triggered and it's hard to get out of the trigger, and sometimes it takes days to let it go, to move on from it, put a yes in the comments. Sometimes it can be gone fast, but sometimes as you're expanding, and I know that lots of us in this community are working on our self-development. So like right now, Merlin is scratching at the door to get out, and I'm not going to pay attention to it. I'm not going to let it trigger me or make me get up from my seat. So if you can hear him scratching, that's what's going on. Anyway, so we can get triggered by the littlest things, just by the cat coming in and irritating us while we're trying to do something that we love doing. Or we can take something personal from somebody says something and we take it personal. Or we give up because we're scrolling through Facebook and we're seeing, oh, they're talking about what I talk about. They're teaching what I teach. They're already doing it. And why bother? So we get triggered. And it's so important to notice that we're triggered. We have to notice that we're triggered, because if we don't notice, we're not conscious. We're not paying attention. And every time we get triggered, we lose some power. And there's also this habit of giving away our power to the trigger. Like we're giving our power away. So we're losing it, we're leaking it, we're giving our power away. And in order to make this significant change in your life, to really go for your dreams, the life that you want, you need to have all your power with you. And you need to be managing it, maintaining it, and observing when you go off. And okay, so I want to tell you a little story. Back when I was in my early 20s, I think 23 years old, so over 20 years ago, I was with an alcoholic. I lived with him. And, he triggered me, but I really thought that he would change because he was an entrepreneur. He was a landscaper. He had his own business. And that I liked that part of him. He was an entrepreneur. And I had this mistaken view that he would change, that he would go for his potential. And so often he would be drinking on a regular basis, and it would trigger me. It would frustrate me. It would irritate me. I would get upset, and I was constantly triggered and stuck. And so one time I got a phone call that he was arrested, and he finally got caught for drunk driving. And I had an out. I had the out. I could have left that moment. I could have said, good, I'm out of here. But I didn't. I believed him, and I believed his stories that he would change and all these kinds of things. But he has this, Merlin. I'm sorry if you can hear the door banging, but Merlin's going off on the door. He's really creating the atmosphere for me to get triggered. Anyway, back to the story about the drunk. Anyway, he triggered me in that moment, and my ego took over and my false personality took over, and I did not end the relationship, and I stayed stuck in it still. But what I did do, and what everyone can do is, while you're stuck in something that is uncomfortable, unhealthy, not good for you, not serving you, you can become more powerful while you're staying in that situation, because you need significant power to get out of something like that. You need significant help and support from the power inside of you, your soul power, to get out of that type of situation. And so I want to help you call back some power right now for whatever type of situation. So you might not be in something like that dire or that upsetting, but even the little things, they call us out of our power on a regular basis. And if we let them bother us, if we don't notice that we're being triggered in the moment, we can go down a train for hours, days, weeks, months, or years of being upset, frustrated, irritated. And then we lose all of our power. We don't have enough power to keep going after what we want. And I want to help us to get more powerful even when we're still in the stuck situation, so that you can get the courage, get the energy, the vitality, the health, get into the right mindset, embody it, all of that power, so that you can make significant moves in your life. Okay. So Merlin, please. Merlin. He's a magician. Okay, so close your eyes. I'm going to use the rattle, and I'm going to help you visualize calling back your power. Close your eyes. Come into your center where your soul power flourishes. And breathe in. Merlin's going to help me rattle with his door knocking. So I'm going to start to rattle, and I want you to imagine that flecks of light, which is representing your power, is coming back from all corners of the universe, all past situations, all triggered events where you've leaked it before. And it's coming back into you, and you're gathering it. Ayudando, ayudando, poderoso, ayudando, poderoso. Venga, 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 cada uno, ayudando, todo, todo. Ayudando, poderoso. Venga, venga, energía. Ayudando, poderoso corazón. Entra, entra, cada uno. Ayudando, ayudando, poderoso. Venga, venga, ayudando. Venga, venga, soporte, transformando cada uno. Ayudando, 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 poderoso. Venga, venga, la lucita poderoso. Entra, entra, cada uno. Muchas gracias, medicina poderoso, ayudando. Venga, 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 ayudando. Entra, entra, poderoso. Soporte, soporte, todo cuerpo, todo cada uno. Entra, poderoso. Entra, 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 poderoso. Venga, venga, ayudando. Ayudando, ayudando, poderoso. Entra, entra, cada uno. Ayudando, ayudando, ayudando. Espíritu, grande. Ayudando, ayudando, poderoso. Medicina, ayudando. All that power from all past situations, all future worries is now inside of you, inside your body, your mind, your heart, your energy, your mind. And now you have it back. So you can come back to this practice by watching the recording, and you can also come back to it just by imagining, you got into a triggering event, and now you're taking a step back from it, and you can just imagine like clutching your power back from it, the power that you gave away, that you leaked, that you lost in any type of frustrating situation. So soul power, when you have it, you can be free to make decisions, to make choices that will help you and support you on the path that is highest for you. But we have to make a conscious effort of it. We have to notice that we're being triggered. We have to pay attention to ourselves. We have to put ourselves first. And even when we're stuck in certain situations, we have to reach out and ask for help. And, ask yourself for help, ask your soul for help, anything like that. And so what is the cost if you're consistently being triggered and staying in it? What is the cost? Like financially, health-wise, clarity-wise? What is the cost to stay triggered, unfulfilled, unhappy in relationships, in work, in situations? And there is ways to become more powerful at not letting things bother you when they're happening. Like, and Merlin is giving me a great example in this moment that I am not paying attention to his misbehavior. And he's like, how often do your pet interrupt your whole workday? Or how often does some kind of a family event, or, as soon as you're about to expand, fear comes in and you contract. Those are triggering events, and we need to be aware of them and pay attention to them and notice that they're happening. So what you want, how you want it, and when you want it becomes more attainable, more attainable. It's something that we're aiming for. We're aiming for more freedom, even inside a world that is extremely judgmental, very competitive. And we want to build a new world while we're still operating in that world. So we have to like get more powerful while we're still inside an old paradigm so that we can make the leap to the other paradigm that we want by consistently growing our power. And so I am doing a free masterclass next Wednesday, July 31st at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Unlock your soul power. And I'm going to give you 3 keys to stop hiding, stop contracting, stop leaking power in uncomfortable situations while you're inside what doesn't work, so that you can grow more powerful and be able to make that significant move powerfully. So that's next Wednesday, July 31st at 10 a.m. Pacific. It's going to be live over Zoom. And we're going to do practices. You're going to be more powerful when you leave that hour-long masterclass. And I'm an experiential person. And when we do things to practice, then we can do them in the real world all the time and get more powerful while we're in the uncomfortable relationship, unfulfilling work. Because, you know, I'm a doer. I get better at doing by doing. And I'll give you some theory and I'll give you some background and that kind of stuff. But doing is a way to implement it in the moment. And so I would love to see you there. And I will put the link in the chat below this video on whatever platform you're watching it. So I really hope you come, because it will be fun too. And we'll be transforming in 1 hour, becoming more powerful. And Merlin will not be there. I will put him outside for the hour. So link is in the chat, and you're watching Receptive Radio, your tuning station for conscious entrepreneurs, conscious intrapreneurs, soulpreneurs, the bridge builders of the new world. This show is for you. This community is for you. And by the way, I want you to know you can post your events in here. You can put your freebies in here. You can tell us what's going on for you. So do not be afraid. And somebody let me know if you can't post, because I would like to know if you can or cannot post. So I will put a separate post about that as well. And I'm also looking for members to interview. So I've done 2 interviews already, really successful, really enjoyed it. And I want people to do their purpose work. So this is a platform and this is a place for you to do your work. And I'm going to get together an application form for that. And I'll post it here in this group as well. But in the meantime, send me a direct message if you want to get into an interview with me and we can talk about it. So free masterclass next Wednesday at 10 a.m. Unlock your soul power, 3 keys to become more powerful, even in bad situations. I'll see you there.